This tenant screening tutorial is brought to you by USA, where you can screen tenants 24 hours a day. Step 1. Ask the right questions. Collecting all of the important information the first time around will eliminate unnecessary delays and aggravation when screening your prospective tenants, and will also provide you the insight to pick the best prospects. It is important to never enter into a rental agreement without getting the answers you deserve. So here are the most essential questions that should accompany every rental application. What is the name, current address, date of birth, and social security number of all prospective adult applicants and occupants? This information is vital to drafting a lease and obtaining reliable consumer reports discussed later in this video, and should be corroborated by viewing each person's photo ID. Never accept a photocopied ID. Always physically inspect each person's identification for authenticity. Have you ever been evicted? If so, where, when, and why? This question is not just a great tool for pre-screening, but also serves as an opportunity for honest adult applicants to make themselves known. If an applicant admits yes and provides a reasonable explanation, that person's integrity speaks volumes, and you may still want to keep them in serious consideration. Have you ever been convicted of a crime? If so, where, when, and why? Please explain all offenses. A criminal record is nothing to take lightly, and unless you ask for an explanation of all offenses, you may get a misleading or evasive answer. It's important to note each adult occupant, even if he or she is not signing the lease, should have to answer this question. Do you own any pets or animals? If so, please list all breeds and weights. Having a list of every pet allows you to consider the risks associated with each individual breed of animal. You should never accept any pet or animal unless you understand its potential for property damage and for bodily injury, for obvious personal and legal reasons. Step 2. Order a credit report and eviction search. There is no better way for a landlord to evaluate a tenant's ability to satisfy a lease agreement than with a personal credit report and eviction search. A credit report contains a detailed historical record of financial obligations that can be used to assess the risk of a future payment default. Services such as AmeriUSA.com offer landlords access to a tenant's credit report and eviction record, and they will even help you interpret the results at no additional cost. Step 3. Order a criminal background check. A criminal record can be used to determine whether or not you are housing a potential threat to yourself, your property, and your community. Fortunately, you get to decide which offenses are acceptable and which ones are not. Remember to check out all adult occupants. Just because a resident isn't on the lease doesn't mean he or she can't cause harm or trouble. Services such as AmeriUSA.com can also conduct a criminal background check for each adult. Step 4. Call employers and landlords if necessary. Verifications and references may not be necessary when unbiased data sources such as credit reports, eviction searches, and criminal records are in good order and clear. The higher the credit rating, the lower the risk for default. It's the blemishes that should cause you concern. If you're considering a person with bad credit, then verifying employment and prior rental history could be helpful. Just be vigilant about each source. Step 5. Don't be fooled by the presentation. It is important to be consistent when screening every applicant and not to waive standard practices and procedures based solely on a person's appearance or large amounts of cash. Sometimes the best dressed and cleanest looking tenants have the dirtiest records, and those with cash may not want to reveal how their magic trick really works. For additional laws and articles, visit AmericanLandlord.com.